students, all the best to your DCT exam. This is a presentation prepared by Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Bantwala, Mangalore. The purpose of doing this presentation is we had solved many problems, or we had prepared many question and answer sessions with the explanations in this video, and this presentation is prepared by, it is on chapter 6 digital electronics and is prepared by Pavitra HP, assistant professor, and myself, Mr. Raghavendra M. Shetty, associate professor in the Department of Electronics, Canara Engineering College. In this presentation we have n number of slides with the question and answers and an explanation. Even it's a video prepared and explanation is given orally also by me. So go through this video and you can learn better. First question, base 16 refers to which number system? The answer is A. Answer is 2, that is B. And why this answer? Is an explanation. The digits 0 to 9 and A to F, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 9. There is no 10. It starts from A, B, C, D, E and F. So total number of digits available is 16. So it is base 16. And the number system which have these digits is nothing but hexadecimal. So the answer is B. Move on to next question. 9AFH is equivalent to, 9AF is a number in hexadecimal system which is represented by this H. This H in the last bit representing that 9AF belongs to hexadecimal number system. Now you have to find out the equivalent of this. So the answers are in binary coded decimals, that is each hexadecimal bit is converted to binary. So answer is A. Why that answer is A? Here is the explanation. 9, first bit 9 is 1001, second bit A is 1010 and third bit F is 1111. So 1001, 1010, 1111, that is answer A. Next question. Decimal equivalent of binary number 11011 is, the number given is in binary number system and you want to convert it to decimal number system. So you have to multiply each bit by bit by powers of 2, that is each has a place value. The answer is 27, that is C. How it is prepared? It is an explanation. So you have a number 11101, 11011, that is given here. This is your first bit 11011, which is multiplied with 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 4. 2 to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 2 is 2, 2 to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 1 is 2 into 1 is 1, 2 into 1 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4 into 0, that is 0, 2 to the power 3 into 1 is 8, 2 to the power 4 into 1 is 16. So sum of this is 27. That is a decimal equivalent of 11011. Move on to next question. Mark the incorrect Boolean expression. If you have studied Boolean expressions, incorrect Boolean expression is C. Move on to next question. What is the binary equivalent of octal number 17.26? Octal number system, the bits are only 0 to 8. Again, in the same way, how we converted binary to binary to decimal number system. Here we are converting octal to binary. Octal to binary conversion is very easy. So each bit, suppose 6 is written in binary, 2 is written in binary, 7 is written in binary, and 1 is written in binary. So 1 is 001, 7 is 111, 2 is 010, 6 is 110. So the total of that is this. So each bit is grouped as bit of 3 numbers. Bit of 3 represents 1 digit here. So this represents 7 here. So this is 1, 7, point is there, 0.26. That's clear? Next question. The given hexadecimal number is 1E5316. Equivalent octal unit to find out. There is a procedure. The answer is B, and the procedure is C here. Each bit, so the total hexadecimal 1E53 is converted to binary first. First it is converted to binary, then it is converted to octal. How it is converted, I will explain you. 1 is 0001, this is 1. So you are converting it into 4 digits because it is more than 8. It is more than 8. E equal to, what is E equal to? A after 9, A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, E is 14. E is 14. So this is representation of 14 in binary. 14 in binary. So next is point. 5 is, this is 5. This is 5. And last 4 bits are 3. Now you have this number ready. So this number is ready now. This number is binary equivalent of hexadecimal number. So now we have to group again it into 3 bits. Again group it to 3 bits. If you have a shortage of bits, add a 0. Add a 0 to the leftmost. And then split it again into 3. Split it again into 3 bits. So this represents 3, this represents 3, this represents 6. Similarly, this represents 2, this represents 4, and this represents 6. Is that clear? So first you need to, I'll summarize. First you need to convert this 1E56 into 4 bits binary equivalent. Then the total number is divided into 3 bits and converted back to octal. That is a solution of this. Next question. What is the ones complement of 100 101010? Ones complement on 100 is, it is simply by converting wherever 1 you put it 0 and wherever 0 you put it 1. Okay, wherever there is 0 you put it, sorry, here is this, wherever there is 1, wherever there is 0 you put this as 1. Okay, is that clear? So 1's complement of this is 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 1. Next, 2's complement of binary number. 2's complement is calculated by adding just 1 to the last bit. See, 1's complement of 0 1 0 is 1 0 1 0, and 2's complement of 1 0 1 0 plus 1. That gives you 1 0 1 1. That is answer A. Simplify the following. Apply De Morgan's theorem and simplify the following. So De Morgan's theorem you have heard of. You have to simplify that. Here I had given a procedure to simplify. Complement of expression A bar B C D bar is, answer is B. A plus B bar, wherever there is AND operation, it will be OR operation. Wherever there is OR operation, there will be an AND operation. A bar is A, B is B bar, D bar is D, C bar is C. C is C bar. Okay, it is by De Morgan's theorem. Which of the following, which of the example below expresses the commutative law? Commutative law represents, what I've heard this, answer is D. Commutative law is C multiplied by D should be equal to D multiplied by C. Okay, what this law is different. What is this law? This is nothing to do with the law. So multiplication of C with D should be equal to D into C. That is a commutative property. See, the commutative law states that order in which we add or multiply two real numbers does not affect the result. Next, digital circuit can be made by the repeated use of, any digital circuit can be made of repeated use of NAND gates. Repeated use of NAND gates. Because NAND and NOR are called as universal gates. You can prepare any gates, you can prepare any circuit, you can realize any circuit using NAND and NOR gates. Because it contains NOT gate, it contains OR gate. So, and or not, all the three operations can be done by NAND and NOR. So, you can use them and realize any of the digital circuits. In general, logic gate whose all output entries are 0 except for one entry is 1. In general logic gate whose all output entries are 0 except for one entry, it is 1. You identify. Answer is B. So, all output entries are 0 for AND except one entry, that is 1 and 1. NOR is only not of OR, not of OR. So, which entry is 1 for OR, the negative of that will be NOR. You can see the truth tables. You can see the truth table. For which combination of A and B, which combination of A and B, NAND, see, NAND A, NAND B, only this is 0. All output entries are 0 except one entry is 1. Sorry, this is this is AND gate, A and B. Sorry, this is 1, which is AND gate, and NOR gate. Only one entry is 1. Rest all are zeros. Next, which is an universal gate? Obviously, we have studied just now. Answer is D. NOR. There are how many cells in a 4 variable K map? Obviously, when I say 4 variable, there is x axis 4 variables and y axis 4 variables. So 4 into 4 is 16. The answer is B. 4 variables means there is x variables and y variables. Horizontal axis 4 variables, vertical axis 4 variables. So obviously it is 16. The prime implicant which has at least one element that is not present in the other implicant is known as essential prime implicant. A prime implicant which is which has at least one element that is not present in the others are called as prime implicants, essential prime implicants. Okay. A single bit full adder adds how many bit? How many bit? Two single bits and one carry bit. A single bit full adder adds 0 plus 0 plus 1 carry. 0 plus 0 plus 1 carry. Next, the logic circuit whose output at any instant of time depends only on the present input but also on the past outputs. The logic circuit whose, you read the questions carefully, the logic circuit whose outputs at any instant of time depends only on the present input. Whatever the inputs you are giving at present, it is not only depend on that but also depends on what was the past output. What was the past output? That means if your circuit is dependent on past output also, such type of circuits are called as sequential circuits. Sequential circuits depends on memory. Sequential circuits depends on memory. It should keep in memory what was my past output and what is the input giving now. What is the input you are giving now? Depends on these two, it will produce an output. Okay. Fed back to the input. The output signal is normally fed back to the input and depends on the previous output and present input, it will give you a next output. Next question. A full adder is made up of two half adders and one OR gate. If you can remember, half adders directly connected. First carry is taken to the next half adder and final carry is taken to OR. Final carry is taken by OR. Next question. In a full adder circuit, if the inputs are A equal to 0, B equal to 1, C equal to 1, then outputs are 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1. Answer is B. 0 plus 1 plus 1. 0 plus 1 plus 1. So sum is, so this is the answer. This is the answer. Okay. 0 plus 1 plus 1. Next. Let A and B be the input of subtractor, then the output will be A and B is the input of a subtractor, then the output will be A XOR B is the output. The subtractor has two outputs, which is a borrow and a difference. And since the difference of the output of a subtractor is given by AB bar or A bar B, and this is output of XOR gate. So the final difference output will be AB bar plus A bar B. Next, 13 XS3 code. XS3 code, as the name itself indicates, 13 you write it in binary, then you add 3 to it. That is XS3. You increase that by 3. That is the answer. So 001 000, you should add 3 to it, binary 3 to it. Okay. See, here it is binary 3 which is added to your original number. This is 3. This is your original number plus 3. That is you are accessing 3. This is a new code generated which is access from the original code. This is the original code. This is a access3 code. Access3 by the name itself, it can indicate you are accessing by 3. Dash are also called as data distributors. What do you mean by data distributions? Demultiplexers. Demultiplexers. Multiplexers and demultiplexers. Demultiplexers are many outputs, many inputs and single output. So there are many data which comes to the input, but it will pass through only, the other way around. The other way around. The data comes in one single line and will be distributed to many many output lines. So your data comes through a single communication channel, and your demultiplexer will distribute it to the required locations. That is why it is called data distributors. So it is also called demultiplexers. Demultiplexers in the sense, so if you have a demultiplexer here, the data input will be single and you have many output channels. So this is distribution. This is data distributors. This is called data distributors. So it is called data distributors. Okay. See. A circuit which sells one out of many inputs is called as, obviously, multiplexer, the reverse process. It's a reverse process. Many inputs are given and it has to pass through a single line. A data selector is also called, again, the same question. Data selector it is. It is not distributor. Data selector is multiplexer. Data distributor is demultiplexer. Reverse process. The edge triggered flip-flops respond to input present at transition of the clock pulse. Whenever we say flip-flops, when you give data to this, the data is triggered always at the clock, either at the edge triggered edge, either this edge or positive edge or negative edge. This is triggering means it gives an output, depends on clock, either this edge of triggering, or this edge of triggering. So it is called edge triggered flip flop. Responds to inputs present at transition of the clock pulse. So as and when clock pulse moves, it gives you a output. Edge triggered flip flop. There may be positive clock or negative clock. Depends on the requirement of your site. Next, truth table of SR flip flop has how many valid entries? See the SR flip flop. How many valid entries? Only 3 valid entries. This is forbidden. Next. The edge triggered flip flops responds to inputs present at transition of the clock pulse. Same again. The minimum number of flip flops needed to construct a BCD decade counter is, BCD decade counter means it should count 10 numbers. So BCD counts numbers 0 to 9. To represent 9 in binary, minimum 4 bits are required. So you require 4 flip flops. So see, the maximum number available in BCD is 9, correct? So you need to represent either 0 to 9. 9 cannot be represented with 3 bits. 3 bits maximum is 111, which is 7. If I want to go for 8, I should go 1 0 0 0. That is 8. So represent 9, I should go for 1 0 0 1. That is 9. So I require minimum 4 bits to represent 9. Each bit has to be implemented by one flip flop. So you require 4. 4 flip-flops to construct BCD to decade counter, which counts 0 to 9. So next, maximum modulus number of 4-bit counter is, how many modulus is required? 16. Obvious, it is 2 to the power 4. 2 to the power 4 is 16. Next, if 5 flip-flops are cascaded, they can count up to an equivalent of 5 flip-flops are counted. That means 5 bit. 5 bit can be represented up to what numbers? 31. So 0 to 31. 32 bits. It is a 32-bit counter. 2 to the power 5 is 32. So it is using 5 flip-flops. You can count from 0 to 31. The race around condition does not exist in master slave flip-flop. Race around condition means it is like an infinite loop. If I explain it in a general layman terms, it is infinite looping. Infinite looping conditions will not exist in master slave flip flop. Rest all flip flops, there is a chances of race around condition. Okay, the explanation is given. You can go through that. The basic shift register with inverse feedback is called as Johnson counter. You have studied Johnson counter, and you can see the basic shift registers are used here with the feedback is from basic reverse feedback, inverse feedback. From last one, it will be given back to the first. So counting will be in that sequence only. D flip-flop can be made from JK flip-flop by making J equal to K. That means if you short J and K terms in JK flip-flop with the NOT gate, it will become D flip-flop. The number of clock pulses required to get the output in a 4-bit SIPO shift register is 4. See, consider a data to be sent. D is equal to this. You can see it is 1 0 0 1. That is 4 bits. 4 bits. So with 4 clock pulses, it can shift the data from 1001. Next question: how many types of flip-flops are? 4 types: SR, JK, D, and T. It is the fastest of all logic families. ECL. Propagation delay of ECL logic is 1.2 nanoseconds. So it is very fast than all this TTL, CMOS, all these logics. TTL, ECL is the very less delayed, contains very less. Next, power dissipation. Power dissipation is absorbed, power absorbed. How much power is absorbed is very low in CMOS devices. The power consumption is very low in CMOS devices. So this is a chart which represents the different delays. What is the bit storage capacity of ROM? 512 into 4 if it is a ROM size. What is the maximum bit which can be stored? Is 2K. See, implies 4 modules of RAM where each can store 512 bits. So 512 bits into 4, one bit is 512 into 4 will give you 2K, that is 2048. This represents 2048. That is 2K. 2K. Which of the following memory is volatile? Volatile means as long as the power is supplied, is given in the explanation, as long as the power is supplied, it will keep the memory. When it is power is removed, all the memory will be erased. Such kind of memories are called as volatile memories. The measure of difference between the actual output voltage and theoretical output voltage in a DAC. DAC is digital to analog conversion, is accuracy. The output voltage, how much has to come according to theory, and the actual output which comes after the circuit is rigged up. The difference is called as accuracy. Okay, accuracy, resolution, and settling time, all these are the different parameters which are used in digital to analog conversion. Next question is based on the principle of comparing analog input voltage with a set of reference voltages. What is based on principles of comparing analog input voltage with a set of reference voltages? Answer is flash type ADC. What is flash type ADC? It's based on the principle of it compares the analog input with a set of reference voltages. So different types of ADCs are mentioned in the explanation. You can go through it. The reciprocal of number of discrete steps in D2A output is the resolution. We might have seen in the previous descriptions what is resolution, that holds good. So resolution is output voltage divided by 2 to the power 4. 2 to the power 4 is n is 4 bit. If it is a 4 bit D2A converter, it is 1 into 2 to the power 4. If it is 6 bit, 1 into 2 to the power 6. That is the resolution. If the range of output voltage is 6 bit DAC, voltage of a 6 bit DAC is 0 to 15 volts. What is the step voltage of the output? There is a calculation. V out is 2 to the power n, what we have seen. So now n is 6 bit DAC. N is 6 bit DAC. So 2 to the power 6 it is. 2 to the power 6 it is. So it is 0.234. Sorry, 0.234 it should be. Answer is B. The number of comparators required to 8-bit flash ADC. Number of comparators required is 255. So again, it's a calculation. It is 2 to the power n minus 1. The resolution of 4-bit R22R DAC is again it is a V out by 2 to the power 4. That is 1 by 16. This is reverse now. 16 is given and you need to 16 is given and you need to find out. 4 is given. You need to find out what is 2 to the power 4. That's all. The basic element used to construct a SRAM is flip-flops. So any RAM which is memory element which is constructed using flip-flops because they are sequential circuit, SRAM or DRAM, whatever it is. Okay. How many address bits are required for 2 KB memory locations? 11. 2 KB is again 2048. That is what? 2048. That is 2 KB. It is 2 into 1024. 1024 is 2 to the power 10. That means you require 2 to the power 11. 11 address lines are required for 2 KB memory. For 8 KB, it is 13 address lines. That calculation also is given. Programmable logic devices have fixed AND gates and programmable OR gates is PROM. PROM. Programmable ROM. Programmable ROM is read only memory. You can read only from that memory. You cannot write anything to it, but you can program it. You can program it by other softwares. Okay, so that kind of fixed and gate array and programmable or gate arrays. PAL is programmable and gate array and fixed or gate array. So gate arrays are the structures where you can store the memories, store the bits, store the bits in those fashions. So programmable logic devices having a programmable AND array and inside input side programmable OR array, the output is called PLA, programmable logic array. That is what we discussed in the last slide also. So this many, how many we have covered? Almost 52 questions in this. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can feel free to contact our college, and you can talk to us anytime for any clarifications. Okay, all the best to all the students. Thank you.